Okay, so let's take a look at worm bin number 2. Bin number 2 is having some issues. So I overfed it, and I overfed it, in addition to overfeeding it, I overfed it very acidic foods. So it turned very acidic, very wet, and the white mice bloomed. And so, white mites. Did I say mice?
Yes, you did, but I was willing to forgive you.
Mites bloomed. So what we've done to try to counter that is we added a lot more bedding. And
oh, hello. Sorry.
Oh, and also, the last time I opened this up, there were tons of worms between the newspaper, and it looks like they're not anymore, and that's a good sign because I felt like they were trying to get away from the food and bedding that was in there. So I'm glad to see that, first of all. Let me set this aside. So we added a ton of dry bedding to try to absorb a lot of the moisture.
Yeah, there's still a lot of white mites.
So this bedding is still pretty dry. But, so yeah, if you start over here, just on the surface, and that's a lot of coffee grounds there.
Which is acidic.
Which is kind of acidic. So you just see there's tons of mites on the surface.
And you can really smell the citrus.
Do you?
Yeah.
I smell the citrus a lot more in the other bin.
Oh.
Hold on. Go, Pivo. Go.
Pivo's being a bad kitty.
So a lot of this looks dry, and that's because I added it dry so that it would just take the ambient moisture out of the tray.
Oh, and we got chimneys.
So we put these chimneys in, which are toilet paper rolls. And the idea being they would absorb moisture, and they would allow a lot of airflow into all levels of the bin. So let's just pull this back over here, and I saw there's a ton of worms in a cluster here. So I'm psyched about that because they've gone from the top layer of newspaper back into
and it looks like they might have been doing it. He's swollen in the middle.
Well, swollen clitone could be a bad sign.
Oh.
But because they're moving and they're clustered and they're active, they don't appear to be dying. But maybe I'll send this video to Bentley Christie, my worm expert advisor, and ask him what he thinks of these worms.
You should start sprinkling eggshells.
I'm going to add a bunch of eggshells. These are some old rose heads from an old bouquet. That's what all that yellow is. And we just added that as bedding as well. I'm going to add a lot of eggshells that I ground in the coffee grinder because that will help neutralize the acidity. It's more basic. It's basic, and so it'll, tone down the acidity, bring the pH level back up, because the lower the pH, the higher the acidity, or the more acid, I should say. So these worms, I hope Bentley doesn't yell at me for poking them with a fork, but it hasn't really seemed to bother them in the months that I've been doing this. So you just see there's white mites everywhere, but I'm psyched that I'm seeing so many worms too, because we didn't put nearly half of the worm. Like when we divided the bin, we basically set this bin with holes on the bottom of it. This bin was set up with bedding, and see how this is more sludgy. That's kind of what I was talking about. Oh, more worms.
It kind of smells a little bit too.
Does it? Well, that's a bad sign, so let me throw a little of this bedding down in there. It does smell a little bad there, which is strange because there's active worms right there too. But hopefully we'll get some air, because bad smells indicate anaerobic conditions. So you want to put some bedding in there to absorb some of the moisture and to get some more air circulating. So I actually think that these worms still look healthy, despite the fact that the bin itself is sort of suffering.
The furnace just turned on. It's really cold here. It's February 28th, and it's snowing lots of snow out.
It is snowing lots of snow out. So I don't know about this chimney recommendation. I read it on one of the message boards. Figured I'd try it. Why not? Just sort of trying everything. Everything's an experiment. And
that's an avocado seed.
That avocado pit. We heard that avocado pits might sprout themselves in the worm bin, and we like that idea. But see, there's no worms over here. I don't know if
I saw one.
They're underneath. See, I'm sort of in a layer that they're not liking. It's not conducive to them right now.
So you don't smell citrus?
No, I don't at all. That's funny. I smell citrus in the other bin. You smell citrus in this bin. Do you smell citrus? I don't smell
I
citrus.
don't know. Does the viewing audience smell citrus?
Yeah, leave us YouTube comments and let us know whether you smell citrus. I don't think we actually have an audience here.
There's worms down below.
There's worms down below, so the conditions down there are different from the conditions of the stuff I just dug through. Now, I don't want to disrupt them too much because I don't want to be putting worms from areas that they find okay into areas that they don't find okay. I'm going to put some more of this bedding down there. But, I like to dig through because I'm curious, basically. That's why I do all the digging that I do on these little videos. So I just want to look.
They don't act as active in this bin.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think that when we get to the clumps of them, they look pretty good.
I got told.
No, I'm disagreeing. Can we not have a respectful disagreement?
Yes, we can have a respectful disagreement.
See, like, look over here. There's a huge clump.
Well, those look more active.
So we found an area that they're enjoying. So I find it a really good sign that they went from that part that was, they went from the newspaper. They were clustering in the newspaper, and now they're back into the bin itself.
Oh, they're doing it, I think.
Are they? I don't.
Oh no, it's just a swollen patella thing. Whatever it's called.
Look at all these worms over here. Look, they're like digging it. Okay, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this development. I think that this area doesn't show a lot of mite. Actually, the coffee grounds still show a lot of mites, but
that area smells better too.
I want to emphasize, it's not like a lot of bad smells. It's like sometimes we dig, we get to an area where it looks gooey and there's like a whiff of a bad smell, but I would not describe this bin
as bad smelling.
As smelling. You would describe this bin
No,
as bad?
I would not.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
Oh, okay.
I concur with that statement. I'm just saying that area was very bad smelling.
Isn't it interesting how they cluster like this? There's another.
Are they doing it?
Yeah, they're doing it.
That's a good sign.
That
right?
is. I think so. I mean, I've read both things because
I don't know, Bentley. Is it a good sign?
Yeah, Bentley, let us know. Bentley Christie, expert of redwormcomposting.com. The guru from whom we bought these very worms.
Can we put some in there?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh my God, Bruiser's hand is making an appearance on camera. Hello. All right, well, thanks for visiting with our worms today, and we'll keep you posted. I hope that they're feeling okay.
Well, we got to put the eggshells in there.
Oh, right. We brought a bunch of eggshells down.
So why don't you show sprinkling some eggshell?
This is the eggshell. This is, I don't know how many eggshells it was.
A lot.
But probably a dozen.
We eat a lot of
dozen and a
eggs.
half. So I'm going to, oops,
Uh-oh.
pulled up one of my chimneys. Let me put some in that chimney. Actually, when we add them, it kind of looks like this chimney is falling apart. That's fine. That's what happens.
That
Everything
means,
in the bin
it's absorbing.
decomposes. Yeah, so it looks like a lot, but I'll come back here in a day or two, and it won't look snowy anymore.
Hey, it's snowing outside, and it's snowing in the worm bin.
It's snowing in the worm bin. And I want to get it where these mites are, because trying to discourage such a population explosion among the mites, although I do respect them as members of a healthy worm bin community.
They upset me.
It's not that we want them to die, it's that we want the worms to thrive. And their thriving indicates that the conditions in the bin are not perfect, are not the best for the worms, they're better for the mites. So we just want to keep our worms happy so they can eat the garbage of me and all of my teammates who frequently bring me lunch baggies, paper lunch baggies full of trimmings of their vegetables. So now I feel like it's my responsibility to dispose of not just our garbage, but the garbage of my community.
Thank you.
Bye.